Alright, so I'm finally making a video about the issue with the carbon fiber wheels. I'm using a new chest mounted phone mount to make the video, so hopefully it's less jittery than when I normally make videos. And I came up with a list of steps to also keep me a little more organized with this in this video about the issue that I've had with the BMW M1000 carbon fiber wheels, also known as the M wheels. Okay, so let's start. So the problem. So how did the problem arise? I was riding and I noticed that I kept, I guess not riding. I noticed that each time I rode, I kept having to fill the wheel with air because they was losing pressure. And then the problem got worse, such that really even during the course of a ride, I'd lose so much air. For example, if I put 36 psi, let's say, in the rear, by the next morning, so maybe 12, 14 hours later, it would be down to maybe 30 psi. And then over time, it would even drop down to less than that. And so I figured, okay, something's wrong. And that was happening actually both front and rear, mostly in the rear, but then it also seemed like the front was also having the same issue. So that was the symptom. So after a while, I decided, okay, something's wrong, right? Because I don't have any other bike doing this. And so I took the wheels off the bike, and I wish I had shot a video of that. I took the wheels off the bike, and I put soapy water around the rim to see if it would bubble up. And sure enough, on the front it did bubble up. On the rear it didn't bubble up. And I also put soapy water around the valve stem also. So the valve stem here, and on both of them, I thought they bubbled up, but certainly on the rear, there were definitely bubbles coming out of the valve stem, most definitely so. So I knew for sure there was a leak with the rear. On the front, I wasn't necessarily sure if it was leaking from the valve stem, but it was definitely leaking from around the rim. So I took the wheels to the BMW dealership, had them look at it. They confirmed that, yep, the wheels are leaking, and that they said from their analysis, they determined that the rear wheel had cracked right there, or at least on the seam. If you can see that seam, if you can see that very well. So there is a seam right around the valve stem. I don't know how well it's showing up in the video, but there is a seam that runs along this line here. So it looked like it was cracking along there on both sides, and so it was leaking on the front. Their initial analysis was that there were cracks around the edge, and from where it was leaking. And there were micro cracks. That was their initial thought, and they recommended that I do not ride the wheels. They were not safe. They were falling apart. I was like, great. So I fully expected that BMW would take care of this, because the bike's got a 3-year warranty, no problem. Your wheels are cracking. To me, it's obviously a defect with the wheels, so no problem. BMW, give me new wheels. No, that actually did not happen. I filed a case with BMW North America, and BMW North America came back and said that this issue, so they had released a bulletin in June of last year. Oh, I wish I had. Maybe I'll show that in this video. And in that bulletin, they said that the M wheels were cracking at the seam, at the valve stem, because people were supposedly hitting the tire pressure monitor when they were changing tires. They were supposedly hitting this when they were changing tires. So they asked me, they had heard from the dealership that I had the wheels changed at another shop not a BMW dealership? I said, yes, I had, because I have they've been changing my carbon fiber wheels on my Super Duke as well. And so those guys, they've changed carbon fiber wheels 100 times, so I totally trust them. So they said, well, that's a problem. Once you change the tire on the wheel, they're no longer on the warranty. And I was like, wait. So I said, well, what if I'd had the wheels changed at a local at the BMW dealership? Would they be covered on the warranty? And she hesitated and said, well, no, they wouldn't be covered either. I was like, well, so what you're saying is BMW isn't covering these wheels once you change the tire? She said, yep. Well, I knew that wasn't going to fly. And so and they said, well, that's it. Sorry, you're out of luck. Buy new wheels. So you're supposed, and they quoted me $7,100 to replace both front and rear wheels, because they said that from analysis, these wheels were not safe. And I was like, well, that's not going to fly. How can you? So I did some research. I looked at the warranty on the bike, and nowhere did it say that did it exclude carbon fiber wheels, because what they said was, if these were not carbon fiber wheels, they would have been covered on the warranty. And so I looked through all the warranty, and there was no exclusion for carbon fiber wheels. And then also what they were claiming, that once you change the tire, the wheels will no longer warranty. I knew that was also that was illegal. In the U.S., you can't do that. So there's an act called the Magnuson Act, which protects customers from such a thing. So you can't, it's like saying that once you buy your car or motorcycle and change the oil, it's no longer covered on the warranty. And so you can't do that. So saying that once you change the tire on a motorcycle, it's no longer covered on warranty, that's illegal. So I honestly wasn't the concern, because I knew that I was gonna sue them and I was gonna win, because what they were saying was completely illegal. So I went back to the dealership, discussed it with them, and they said, hold on a minute. And I didn't mention anything about lawsuits and so forth. They said, hold on a minute, let's discuss it with the regional rep and see if the regional rep can help escalate this so that we can get this matter resolved. And so that's what I did. Waited for the regional rep. Took about a month for that person to show up. Unfortunately, when the rep did show up, the rep's boss also showed up that day, and the tech at the shop and the service manager really went to bat for me. And so they explained the situation. The tech at the shop had done a bunch of tests, and he was able to basically explain to them that this is a defect. This is a BMW defect. This is not from anything that he had done, that I had done. And so with his support, the regional rep and his boss, they did agree to warranty the rear wheel. And so they replaced that wheel. So this wheel here is a new rear wheel. Yay. It turned out that the front wheel was fine, because once we put a new tire on it, it didn't leak anymore at all. And then once we put the old tire back on, for whatever reason, it didn't leak anymore either. So the front tire turned out to be fine. The rear tire turned out to have this leak through the seam. And some additional testing performed by the tech at the shop actually confirmed that even though we had put a new valve stem on there and it still leaked, he was able to, put some sealant or washer or something on there to stop it from leaking. And further analysis, he felt as though the wheel was actually structurally, it was fine. There was no issue with the wheel. And so, but it's the construction of what BMW is doing. Yes, this does seem to, I don't know if it's a crack, but there's some evidence in the seam that something seems to happen. Anyway, so that's really the story. Did I analyze the problem? I described the problem. I talked through the root causes. I'm going through my list here. Talked about all this solution and failure. So this is the new wheel. I got the two wheels now, and so I've got two wheels back. The has been down since October, early October. So it's been, let's see, October, November, December, January, 3 months. November, December, January. So over 3 months that the MXR has been down, and I got these back. So what am I going to do? I've decided that I'm not going to run these wheels. I don't trust them. I don't trust BMW's response to the wheels. So these markings here on this front wheel show things that look like just imperfections in the construction, and the local tech who installs my carbon fiber wheels, the shop who does that, he's the one that pointed these things out. It's just the quality he feels is could be better, and so they're just these seeming imperfections and deformities in the construction that just doesn't leave one feeling confident about the quality of work. Now, structurally, are they fine? Structurally, they're probably sound. And then if anyone does have, I think, this issue with the leak, which you probably will, and BMW in their total BS will try to gaslight you and tell you that it's your problem, and it's what it is. Ultimately, it's a defect with this. This is a defective and lousy solution. This tire pressure monitor and valve stem system is the same one that they use on the GS for example. And if you look at the wheel on a GS, this section right here is completely flat, and BMW made this rounded, right? So this is rounded here, and so this rounded section here doesn't allow the valve to sit exactly. If you can see, you can even see, so this one's, you can even see how this one's actually falling apart. Can you see that? Can you see that closely? If you can see the rubber, can you see the rubber gasket on there? See how that is actually, see as I pull on that? Yeah, see that? Can you see that? Yep. So that's the issue. So, and this is going to develop a leak too, eventually. But it's not, this surface is curved, right? And this valve stem was originally meant to sit on a flat surface, and so the gasket isn't sealing very well. And BMW should have designed a different valve stem for this wheel, or designed a different gasket system for this wheel. And they should have gasket on the rear as well. So you should have some kind of a gasket on this side, right here. And one on this side, but there's only one, as you just saw, as I showed you, that's already falling apart on this one, and it's on this side, whereas they should really have one on this side. So they should have two, or just have one, which probably makes more sense to have it on this side. I think on the Rotobox wheels, they have it on the inside, and the Rotobox wheels, this cross section here is totally flat. Again, so that the valve stem sits flat. You can see here on this as well, you see how it's curved, and this is not designed for a curved surface. They're using the same system that they use on the GS and other. This is the third generation valve stem. They're using this same one on this wheel that is a totally different construction wheel. One of the tests that the tech did at the shop is the second generation. I think it was a second generation valve stem or tire pressure monitor did seal on the wheel that was leaking. When he installed the second generation tire pressure monitor, it actually did seal, because I think the valve, the gasket is on the inside, so it actually sealed on that one, whereas it leaked on the third generation one. So it's really mostly a poor design. So if you encounter this issue, you could probably resolve it yourself by just putting another gasket on the inside, or even maybe using some RTV black, but probably not. I probably don't recommend using RTV black or any kind of chemical on carbon fiber wheels. It's probably safe, but Just from dealing with Rotobox, they just don't recommend any sealant on any kind of chemicals on their wheels at all. So this is the new wheel. So what am I going to do is I'm not going to use these wheels anymore. I don't want to deal with BMW gaslighting me. And honestly, this encounter has really left a sour taste in my mouth with BMW. At one point, I decided that I was never going to buy another motorcycle from BMW. That's how I felt. I mean, I couldn't believe that they were just straight up gaslighting me after all the bikes I bought from BMW and all the servicing and support that I spent so much money at my local BMW shop because I try to buy everything from them for all my bikes, all the KTMs I buy, no matter what. I shop there first. And so I was just really unhappy and surprised that BMW would try to gaslight me and other customers by trying to tell us that it's our fault that this poor design, this is a crappy design, this crappy design is our fault. They took no accountability and just straight up tried to gaslight me and other customers. I'll share that bulletin, and in the bulletin, BMW says this is a bulletin that they released to all the BMW North America released to all the BMW dealers in North America, which basically states that if you encounter this problem, wheels, these incidences that are happening with wheels because people are hitting the valve stem, the tire pressure monitor, and causing this to crack. Which, think about it, if you've made a wheel that is that weak, this spot right here with the valve stem should be reinforced and stronger than, especially if you're going to mount a tire pressure monitor, which, by the way, Rotobox does not recommend. So if you're going to do that, then you would make this part right here stronger. This should be reinforced. But BMW's done the opposite. It's actually, if you were to look closely at it, this has a recess in it. So they've actually taken material out of this spot, whereas this spot should be stronger than any other part of the center part of the wheel. But they've done the opposite, and so they've compromised this, and then they have this, the seam. Like if you run your finger over the inside here, I don't know if you can see that. It feels like there's a seam there, and if you look at it visually, it looks like a seam. It's probably not. It does totally looks like there's a seam there, which is where this is failing along that seam, right? It comes out this way and this way. So this design is a lousy design. I'm not going to run this wheel anymore. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to tell you in the next video that I talk about the wheels. I'm going to share my new wheels setup, and that'll be in a few days because that I'll be able to talk about that. But I think I think it's going to be pretty cool. I think you're going to like what I'm doing. Well, some of you will like it, knowing the rest of you use. Some of you will probably not like it. So, because not everyone appreciates my taste. So this will be, so if you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them in the comments section. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Sorry about the long-winded video, but there's just a lot of information to share on this issue. I'm trying to help other people who are getting gaslit by BMW North America. Don't stand for it. Don't let them tell you that it's your fault. If your M wheel cracks right here, starts to leak from the valve stem, it is 100%, I guarantee it is with certainty. I said 100%, there's no such thing, right? It is most likely, highly likely that it is because of the defect in the design of this wheel. It is not because of anything that you, the customer, has done. Because if you were to hit this, then this should break before the wheel cracks, right? Because that's what happens with other wheels, with an aluminum wheel or or a mag wheel. You would snap this off before you damaged or cracked the wheel. And so if you have a design that is so weak that the wheel is breaking before the tire pressure monitor breaks, then that's just a lousy design. Then you change that design to make it stronger so that doesn't happen. I mean, this is a safety issue. If this fails, you could easily, it could lead to a catastrophic situation that could be potentially deadly. So yeah, so it's irresponsible for BMW to design it this way, and so don't let them tell you that it's your fault. And this appears to be mostly a North America issue, because I think I talked to someone in Europe who said that BMW Europe did warranty their wheel when it had this same issue. And so clearly this is an issue, otherwise BMW wouldn't have released a bulletin. They're seeing a lot of these M wheels fail right here in the spot. So thanks for watching, and that's it. Yeah, that was a long video. All right, enjoy. Peace out.